Hello and welcome, everybody. My name is Karen, and I'm going to be your facilitator today. And I'm going to let you know right now I'm having something weird happening with my Spotify. So if my music's not spot on, I'm going to do my absolute best to do right by you guys. I see that I have a lot of newbies here tonight, so welcome, and some people joining us, even though some of you were here last week. So welcome back. What you're going to need today is something to write with, your October journal. And if you are someone who likes your washi tape and stickers, grab it. If not, that's cool, no big deal. Yes, definitely. I see a lot of people are coming in from California. And if you are unfamiliar with Silk and Saunders, we are a Bay Area startup. I'm right outside San Francisco. And yes, I was noticing that there is a lot of Texas in the house. And I am absolutely a Texas girl, born and raised. So from some very, very small town south of Houston. I probably, even if I said it, people would not even know. So welcome, everybody. As you know, our month theme this month is patience. And this is a hard one for a lot of us, myself included. So we're going to dig a little deeper in that today. And our agenda, for those of you who've not hung out with us for Sonder Social, for a weekly setup before, this is our agenda. Kristen, it is close to Alvin. It is Angleton. It's right near Lake Jackson. That's my little tiny small town. So we're going to do a patience activity. We're going to do our weekly setup, and then we're going to close it out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So our activity is going to revolve around patience tonight. And I pulled a quote that I thought was awesome. It says, there is something good in all seeming failures. You are not to see that now. Time will reveal it. Be patient. And this goes right along with our setup. So I'm going to ask you to turn to an empty note page in your journal. If you do not have an empty note page, find a spot somewhere. It doesn't need to be a whole lot of room for today. So if you have a page, like if you're not using your expense tracker, your sleep tracker, something like that, will absolutely work. But before we dive in totally into the activity, why should we be patient? So some of the reasons that we should be patient is that it makes thoughtful decisions when we stop and pause and think about those things. It cultivates enduring relationships because you're not just blurting out the first thing that you're saying, and you stop and process what it is. And if you're someone who's kind of blunt like myself, that's a really good thing, because you don't want to lose your friends for something you said when you totally did not understand it. Number 3 is that you look long term, not just in the here and now. You are looking to that end goal. And so for me right now, it's like we just moved into a new house and I really, really want to redo the backyard. But I know that that's not the best financial planning right now, investing money into my retirement and moving forward. And then when stock is vesting to do that, that is patience, my friends. You find inner peace within yourself. I don't say that I've absolutely hit inner peace yet. I think probably most of us mere mortals cannot say that, but that's the goal. And that you learn to be kind. And that one's self-explanatory because you're thinking about what it is and you're being patient and you're not just blurting everything out. If you're wanting to dig a little deeper, our stage manager, Maya, already threw in the link here. This gives a really beautiful, detailed, instead of like a quick summary of these 5 reasons about being patient. So if you are someone who wants to read a little more about that, copy and paste it, throw it in your browser for later. So today, our patience activity is to write down a mistake that you made. And I know that this is difficult because it's not fun thinking about the mistakes that you made. And I really had to stop and think for a bit about a mistake that I'm willing to share with. Oh, I don't know how many of you guys are here today. Let's see how many people are sharing with us right now. 179 people. Yeah, it's a little intimidating to share those mistakes. And instead of, rather than reflecting on it with patient, we're going to write down what we learned, the lesson that kind of relates to like the quote that we just talked about, and what we learned and how we're going to carry it forward. So I'm going to make myself vulnerable right now, and I'm going to bare my soul. And I'm going to put it up here. And so you can see, don't look at my crooked writing, but I labeled it patience with your learning. And then I kind of made a flow chart with the mistake, what I learned, what I'm carrying forward. That's the setup. That doesn't have to be your setup. That's just what made sense in my mind. I was an ESL teacher for many years, so those graphic organizers really helped me organize my thoughts. So my mistake was saying something that hurt people's feelings, and it's never my intent, but I am a bit of a blurter, and so I said something in a class that hurt my mentor's feelings. And so it was something along the lines of I was doing a side conversation with someone who was asking about the level of Pilates to expect in my athletic Pilates reformer class. And I said, well, her class is called advanced. I go, in comparison to my athletic class, this class would be intermediate and compared to, so this athletic class is more advanced, and it really hurt her feelings and that person's feelings, not that they were super advanced. So what I learned is to really think about how others might feel about what it is that I'm saying, even though I'm really from my heart trying to make sure that they were not embarking on something that would injure them because they have some spinal issues. But I should have thought about it from their perspective. And what am I carrying forward is I'm going to pause before I speak. So if you're thinking and you're like, yeah, I'm kind of stuck on moving forward, I'm going to share a few examples of ways that you might learn from a mistake, being able to take forward. It might point us into something that we didn't know, reveal a nuance that maybe we missed. It might deepen our knowledge of a subject, tell us something about our skill levels. Apparently, I'm not necessarily the most compassionate person. Help us see what matters and what does not, and might help us inform our values, teach us more about others, let us recognize changing circumstance, show us when someone else has changed, keep us connected to what works and what doesn't work. And then maybe it reminds us of our humanity. So those are some lessons that you might be able to pull from here. So I'm going to put on some music. Hopefully Spotify decides to cooperate with me. I'm going to turn off my camera and I'm going to give you some time to be able to set up your page. I'm leaving the slide up so that you can see what it was that it looked like for me, as well as the prompt. If you're stuck, throw it into the chat. We'll try to help you out. We want to hear what you're thinking, share what it is you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable being super vulnerable, that's okay too. So I'll see you in a few. Welcome back. Thank you for being vulnerable. I know that this one was a hard one. It was hard for me too, and you only had a few minutes to think about it. I thought about it for about 24 hours and I still struggled. Lynn talked about focusing on her faults too much and paying more attention to the positives in myself and others around me. And it seems like a lot of people were chiming in on that one as well. Um, and then Chandra said, when things do not go as I planned, I lose my temper with my husband when it really isn't his fault at all. I have to remember to stop and pause to remind myself that he's not to blame, to just get over it or take mental time out so I can be rational and not mean. I think anyone married can totally relate to that one. Absolutely. Jamila says hubby has all kinds of money trips and reacts like yikes, but it's not reality yet. And he's just streaming, so I need to listen and pause before speaking. Sounds like that one's pretty common. That stopping, pausing, thinking before we speak and looking at the other's point of view. Oh, that's a tough one though. And I've really been working on it and I still haven't been perfect on it, even when I've been making a big effort for it. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and move on into our weekly setup. And so if you are unsure what section that you're on, if you're a little bit behind this month, no worries. It's a fresh week. Do not beat yourself up for not keeping up for anything. If you are not 100% perfect on something in the journal, it's breaking up with perfection. That's our tagline, right? So this is a fresh week. That's the past. This is the future. We're just going to move on. Because I can tell you right now that I totally didn't realize it, but my habit tracker, I set it up, but it's totally empty because I just like tabbed a bunch of pages with the stickers and I didn't tab that page. And so I just, whoops, what can I say? We're human. So we're on page 38 and 39 for this week. Just like your mood tracker's the same. Okay, well, at least I'm not alone. So we're first going to look at how I want to feel this week. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to be able to sonder at all. If you want to cross through something and make it something else, I'm going to give you information for a lot of those things that other people have done as well. Jody, high school marching band month. Is it your kids or are you the instructor, the director? So you can kind of look here. Some people use specific words. Some people use more than one word. There's no right or wrong. So you can see some people use beautiful block writing. You can make it however it is that you want. Money and sleep tracker ideas. Well, I'm not going to address that specifically because it's not on these pages, but I'm going to give you so many ideas that you might be able to take one of those that I share with the menu or Mind Body and move it into those sections. Now, if you are new to Silk and Saunders, you probably got one of these amazing wheels in your welcome packet with your first journal, the feelings wheel. Love it because it allows us to dive a little bit deeper into it. So you can see that it's broken up into our big 6 emotions: anger, sadness, surprise, joy, love, and fear. And then you can start in the middle and then work your way out to dive into one that you really feel compelled to. So instead of just like, I feel angry, you can take angry and be like, rage. Yeah, I'm feeling rage right now. And then be like, ooh, hate, hostile. Ooh, what I'm feeling is hostile. And so you can take one of those feelings and add it in. If you're someone who does have that feelings journal, I like to keep mine with a magnetic bookmark into my journal pages. So it's there for when I'm setting up my mood tracker at the beginning of the month, but then I also refer back to it on my weekly setup page. Karen, if you did not get one, you can email hello@Silk and Saunders and they can send you an actual electronic version that you can print out into whatever size and format that you absolutely want to get. So I'm going to give you just 30 seconds or so that you can follow that wheel around. It's short enough that I'm not going to turn on music or anything, but while it's up, that you can jot down an emotion. Hopefully you were able to identify your emotion, and you can see that Maya has thrown in the hello@silkandsaunders.com if you want a copy of the wheel. So awesome. This week I want to feel like I'm a top priority. I love that, Michelle. Jubilant. Flying out for a week-long trip to Washington. So totally doable. I'm heading on vacation, so you'll see, by the way, I set up my weekly planner. Accomplished, refreshed. I feel resentful. I want to feel peaceful. Yes. Energetic, rejuvenated, happier, triumphant, stimulated. I love this. Cheerful, compassionate, optimistic, compassionate towards myself. Yes, hopeful, energized, accomplished. These are all wonderful things. Curious and playful. I like it. Motivated, optimistic, elation, calm and peaceful, joy, optimistic, eager. Ooh, I don't think we've seen eager before. These are all wonderful ways to be able to want to set it up. And if you're looking at your weekly planner set up where you're actually writing in your one thing, you could actually put down the word that you want to feel that day. So, that's another way to be able to use that setup page. So I'm going to move on to the weekly major goals. So when I write these goals, I do like to go back and look at my intentions and habits that I established earlier in the month so that I can find if I'm being successful at them. And if I'm not, can I break that goal down smaller, or can I add it to be able to hold myself a little more accountable in my habits? So some things that other people have talked about is creating a no work hour, making a bingo board for the goals so that you can cross it off, using stickers instead of just marking it off, because I don't know about you, but I love stickers. Planning out time blocks, timers for being focused, creating a meal rotation schedule, things I have to do, things I want to do, things other people want me to do, what relationships they want to nourish, goals around the relationships and actions. And then last week, if you were here, and I saw a couple of you were, I asked for the greater community to add, because someone asked, what do you consider the difference between a goal and a to-do? So I'm going to share some of those that people put in. Now, they're different. Some of them are similar, but there's no right or wrong way to Sonder. So maybe one of these will resonate for the distinction for you if you're struggling with that. I use goals to pinpoint what I really need to focus to get done or focus on. To-dos are less important or smaller tasks that need to get done. Goals are more non-tangible. I want to be peaceful to do this. How am I going to achieve that goal? I want to use a goal as a small to-do to reach my larger goal. To-dos are more tasks, while goals work more towards my life, month, year goals. To-do or task goals or ideas, i.e. picking up a prescription compared to update my blog or Instagram post. To-dos versus to-bes. I thought that was a fun way to think about it. I see goals as an item that I don't have a set endpoint, but to-dos have a defined endpoint. I look at my intentions and I broke it down. To-dos are things I do every week. Goals are specific projects. Goals is something I want to achieve. To-do activities to which goal. So you can see that these are different items to be able to look at. I mean, they went on and on. There's tons of wonderful, awesome ideas with that, but I hope that gives you an idea to be able to work with. 3 parts: work thing, 1 personal thing, 1 family thing. Yeah, I thought that was a good one too, because I always try to do one that relates to myself. So I'm going to show you how I have evolved my goals over the last bit. So I'm going to show you 6 examples. The way, if you haven't been here before, I'm going to go through my examples and we're going to work through this whole 1 page, and then I'm going to give you time to be able to work with it. Yes, Chandra, it's not my idea either, but I love to steal, beg, borrow, and steal. That's my philosophy. And I steal from you guys all the time. So make sure that you guys put your great ideas into the chat, because this isn't the Karen show. This is about your ideas as much as mine. Because most of yours I steal anyway. So you can kind of look that my goals was, 1 week was definitely work related, passing the Pilates exam, the spin cert. And then the next one was more housing, because I was moving at that point, moving boxes, not spending money, doing something kind for the staff that works for me. Then it kind of changed again. And it was, one was goal related, extra classes, road trip meal ideas, because I'm about to go on a road trip, knives sharpened, and then finish life coaching calls, retain 2 new clients, teach 2 new moves. So you can kind of see how that's kind of progressing a little bit. And it looks like I missed one. So let me take you back. Sorry, guys. It looks like, there we go. So one time I was really trying to rework my morning routine, organize, and it was the season change. So wearing scarves, something fun was to cook something from the Rachel Ray magazine that I bought, invite neighbors over, deal with my computer that I fried with water, but it turned out okay. It dried out and it was all good. Saturday hikes. So you can kind of see, depending on what's going on in my life, it looks a little bit different. So looking at the to-dos, I always share the 3 T's: delete everything that you do not need to do, delegate whatever it is that you can. If that's to your kids, if that's to a teenager, helping watch the kids for a little bit, is it bringing someone over with the mobile car wash or oil change or food box so you're not having to shop. And then whatever's left, to actually just delight in it and make the best you can. A lot of times, if I have a task that I'm not looking forward to, maybe I listen to my favorite podcast while I'm driving there, or stop and reward myself with my favorite coffee drink, etc. Someone shared, and I thought this was a really good idea, that if you find it a little overwhelming, to look at your to-dos, to put a sticky note over it, so you can look through the rest of your week without feeling overwhelmed, and then just flip it up when you need to. I've seen people really break it down into 3 categories: work, school, personal. Label self-care to serve you, serve the community, serve your family. So looking at why you're doing these habits or these to-dos, and labeling them of like, how does it fit within your self-care, make it a little more palatable. I'm a huge Gretchen Rubin fan. I don't know if anybody else listens to the Happier podcast. This week, she talked about the to-do list, and that some people do better with the to-do list, listing the things that they have accomplished. Or if you are someone who really hates the to-do of like, these are things I could do, if you're a rebel. So there's different ways to be able to look at those things. All right, I'm not the only Gretchen Rubin. Ta-da versus to-do. Yeah, I love Gretchen Rubin. So let's look at some of my weekly to-dos. So one of them was like things that needed to get done as we, oil change, letting the painter in, things that were work related, planning class, maybe a food prep challenge, those types of things. Then I took it into reworking. Oh, I already did that. I changed it to like a fall fun, kind of looking at it as a bucket list of make a fall playlist, read a fall book, bring out my fall favorite, makeup, invite new neighbors over. Oh, sorry, craft pumpkins for stairs, order bats. So I did that on Etsy. Go get the pumpkin simmer sauce, which I still haven't seen at Trader Joe's, which is absolutely delicious. So trying to make it a little more fun. And then last week, I literally made it a kind of a Halloween movie list of movies that I wanted to watch that were kind of Halloween themed. And then this week, was more about prepping for the road trip, like order the air mattress, find an audiobook that my husband and I would enjoy, pack, meal plan for camping, download books for myself and shows because we will be camping, and grocery shop for the trip. So you can kind of see it morphs depending on what's going on in my life. It doesn't necessarily always look the same. Thank you. You can tell that love I love Halloween movies. I love horror movies. I've been watching I Know What You Did Last Summer. Can't wait till Netflix releases that series. Then habit and activities. I was using it for my morning routine. It was working really well for a while. I discovered that now that I'm teaching 70/30 classes, I am not a morning person and it's just not happening. And so this week you're going to see I make a shift because it's no longer working for me. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm just going to make a change to include some of those things into a night routine and include some other new things into the night routine. If you are trying to do a routine, I just wanted to share a little tidbit that I learned that put everything into the basket that you need for your morning or your evening routine, that you can pull it out so that you're not necessarily looking for those things. So that's one way to be able to shave some time off and become a little more successful. Some people like to put in their habits something they want to accomplish 5 times during that week: 4, 3, 2, 1. Some people that Summer last week's mentioned, I thought this was really smart, is they used it for books that they were reading and then they rated it in the circles. I thought that was a really unique way to look at it. Someone used it as repurposing for a symptom tracker for chronic illness. I thought that was really smart as well. I a lot of times will use my mood tracker for symptoms, but if that was overwhelming, that weekly might be a better place to be able to do it. Someone else talked about how they use it every morning for their meditation and self-care morning routines. Someone else says that that's where they plan what yoga video that they're going to do for the week. I'm guessing she's probably, what is her name? Adrian, the yoga guru. I really do like her stuff. Someone else, that's where they put their water intake. I mean, you got the little teardrops to color in at the bottom. If you're new, that's what those are actually for. I was like, what are those for a while? Someone else put in, their skincare, floss, logging into MyFitPal, eating veggies, reading 50 pages a day. So these are all different ways to be able to approach it. I'll show you. You can see mine. It was definitely body brushing, jade rolling, calm app, making sure my Sonder. So I actually put it here to make sure that I actually do my journal. And then Simple Abundance is a book that is like 1 chapter a day. You can see the next one. I was doing really good at this point. And so I added on hamstring stretch. So I slowly compressed and added 2. So I have someone else who loves the Simple Abundance book. Apparently it was written in the 80s and they updated it. I really like it. And you can see I made it a little more generic. I was struggling with my Calm app. I also used the Shine app. So I left it more general for just meditating. And then you can see the next week really struggling. So just getting outside and having the coffee outdoors in the morning. So you can see how it kind of shifts depending on my absolute success. Sometimes more than others. So I last week was really going to try read, meditate, listen to music, even more general, and journal. It still wasn't necessarily happening for me. So now you're seeing that I'm shifting it to a night ritual. I'm putting my Sonder there, lavender spray for my bed sheets, because it does kind of like trigger your mind a little bit of like, oh, it's time to wind down. No electronics before bed. Read before bed, and I'm going to switch that Simple Abundance there. And to meditate, and if I don't meditate, do a sleep story from one of those apps. So I'm shifting it slightly to the time of the day and trying to create that nighttime routine. So if you're struggling with habits, I got a big list here for you. This is the point that I'm going to put on some music, give you time to be able to work in your journal and let us know what you are tracking for your habits, your to-dos, anything with on this page, any ways that you're repurposing. We want to know, like I've always said, we are nosy. We get our best ideas from you guys. Welcome back. I'm loving seeing everybody likes my Barbie girl into the chat there. So I saw a lot about trying to drink water. I also am a struggler with that. I don't work for them, no affiliation, but I do like the water drops that kind of flavor your water that makes it a little bit easier. And one I didn't think of, and I totally should have, which I think I'm gonna steal and add another one, is my daily rituals, right? What was I thinking on including that? Those of you who don't know what the daily rituals are, I think everybody should. I know Apple does because that's what I am, are able to access those daily rituals from your phone. And it's like a little 5-minute journaling activity with our founder, Meha. And she has a beautiful, calming voice. And you know what? It doesn't matter how many times you do it, just depends on your mindset. You come up with something new. Jamela, yes, I really do start them over again. Angela, those should be in the app. And if you are, your daily rituals won't come up anymore. Still doesn't work for Android. You know what? Just put into Google Silk and Saunders daily rituals. It will take you to the page and they will all be there and you can go through it if you need a workaround. Because for sometimes I have a problem logging into some of the programs that way. But if you were reading the email, you know that new daily rituals are actually happening in November, which I am really excited about. A whole new set. All right, so Patricia has Android and it's working for her. You might need to update your app. I don't know. I'm not a technology guru by any means, but yes, excited about the new rituals. And I don't know if you knew already that on Instagram that there's actually a new journaling prompt of the day. So if you're looking for a little more journaling in your life, get onto the Instagram, onto the Silk and Saunders, and they're doing some really fun ones there. So, oh, look, Nancy's already pulled it up for us. Awesome. Thank you, Nancy. And please feel free if you are finding bugs, they want your feedback on these things. We're going to do a survey at the end. I don't care if it's about the daily rituals or me. Give them that feedback so that way that they realize people are having issues so they can get their engineers to be able to work around on that. But it looks like a lot of you guys have some really awesome rituals. I saw that some of you were definitely including in your habits some things that were fun, like a family movie night, not hitting snooze on the alarm. Absolutely 100% there with you. I saw that there's a lot of Bible time in there. Audible, I like that. If you're not someone who likes to read, listening to the Audible, something along those lines. I saw that there was a lot about, skincare, flossing. Those are definitely things. Also really smart that if you are forgetting, like I am, to go into the app and look at the bingos daily, adding them actually in to your habits is a great idea so that when you're looking at it, it reminds you to get in there. I've also seen some people say that one of their habits are to post on Sonder Club. So I thought that that was a really great idea. Yeah, I'm the same way. I look at them on the weekends, but I forget daily. So I'm thinking maybe that's something else I need to add to my habit tracker. And you know what? It's okay for you to go through and mark off something from earlier in the month. That's okay. If it's not working for you, it's totally fine. We have more than half the month left. If you find it's not for you, mark it off, put a Sharpie across it, washi tape, whatever works, change it. This is a evolving document. Think of it as a Google Doc. You can change it. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, might as well switch it up so it works for you versus feeling guilt about it. And I also love that someone really loved that theme joy and that they're incorporating it into their life this one. I don't know if you guys saw, if you're a big gratitude person, I posted in Sonder Club a couple of weeks ago where they took a white pumpkin and they added one thing of gratitude around daily. And I think that's something that I'm going to try to do. And I'll post it when I actually get it up and running for the month of October. No, not October, November, for the month of Thanksgiving. Oh, good tip, Belinda. Cream color whiteout if you're a perfectionist. All right, so we're going to move forward. And I'm going to give you a lot of really great ideas here. So don't think about them as just something that you need to use in your meal planner. If you find one of these that you like, try it on that habit tracker or sleep tracker if you're not using it. So in the past, I've seen using it as a dream log, affirmations, quotes, rosebud thorn, which is rose is something that's going well. Bud is something that has potential, and the thorn is just what it sounds like, something that's not going as well if you're new. Some people have cut it in half for a study plan. Some people have used it about how they feel about what they ate. If you're someone who really struggles with eating from emotions, that might be something that's absolutely helpful to you. Someone else wrote 1 salad, 2 fruit, 3 water. Someone else wrote about how their meditation went, or you could even plan out what meditations that you're wanting to do. Someone used it for senior animal pill care and tracking. It could be a vitamin tracker for you as well. I have revamped it sometimes for some of the challenges that you see online, like if you do photo challenges of like a different photo that you post on Instagram, or doodle, or clutter clearing, or skincare, any of those types totally work for it. Book tracking instead of meal tracking is something that someone listened, and someone talked about the GLAD. Taylor talked about GLAD. This may have come from you last week. Grateful, learned, accomplished, and delighted. Using it for the daily rituals, which Kristen talked about. A workout plan. If you're someone who likes to change it up, you could use down writing what videos you're doing. You could list, if you're doing weights, listing which ones that you're doing, how many reps, so that you can keep track of when you're going up. You're like, ooh, maybe I'm not enough to up my weight, but I can do a couple more reps so you don't forget for the final week. It may be something that you're doing for others. Someone last week called it their love plans, to do an act of love for the people in their lives, track of what they're eating, recap, one word at the end of the day, tracking sugar and veggies. Someone mentioned veggies either as well. All the major things that need to be done during the week. So it's at a glance, so that they know what they can push to the other day if something's not accomplished, knowing that Wednesdays, like my Wednesdays are really crazy. So maybe I would push it to Thursday or Friday. Using it for appointments and events so that don't forget. Burst of the day, meals on wheels. Oh, that's wonderful that you're doing. That's so awesome. Tarot spreads, reading, craft planning. Word of the day. Yes, let's increase our vocabulary. Daily ritual, smart. Daily affirmations, all of these things, super, super smart. How hungry I was before I ate, Kelsey, that's brilliant. On a scale of 1 to 10, 5 being neutral, 1 starving, 10 completely stuffed. Yeah, I've eaten there when I've been stuffed before. So keeping track of that would really hold me accountable. That's really, really smart. So you can see here that one time I was doing a smoothie challenge. And so I tracked it there. The next week I tried dreams. Turns out I don't remember my dreams really well. So that was kind of a bust for me, but it depends on you and who you are, if that works for you or not. 1 week I did it for a doodle or lettering, because I like to try to practice my lettering with my, what is the Tambo pens, down stroke, up stroke, thicken and thin in certain areas. One time I used it as kind of like a daily clutter buster. Last week I used it I was doing a soup, not a cleanse, but a soup challenge, trying new flavors and such. And PC stands for purple carrot. I don't write down what meal, because it ultimately means which produce is going bad and what I put in what order. And then for this week, you can see on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is kind of normal, but then this is my camping. What am I going to need to do for my camping trip? What are we going to eat for each day? So those are some ways that I've kind of looked at it. Good way to keep up with what's a good way to make sure you keep up with your planner more? I was excited and on board last Sunday and completely fell off between work and home errands. Ash talked about setting daily alarms on the phone to remind me. That was about what I was going to suggest. I know that there's some habit trackers apps. I haven't used them, but that might be something. Leaving it somewhere that you see it. I know that that's a strategy you use when like you're trying to do vitamins or something like that. Leave the journal on your bed, so when you climb in, it's right there in front of you. I like that. Somewhere in plain sight. Maybe even pairing it with something that you do every day. So if you are a coffee drinker, maybe setting your journal while I'm saying this, I'm like, yes, I'm going to do that this week. Putting my journal right next to where I make my coffee. So that's kind of like a pairing strategy, something you're already doing, trying to establish a habit, putting the two together. If you're looking for creating habits, Gretchen Rubin has a beautiful book on that too. I can't think of the name, but she gives you some wonderful strategies to help build those. Habit stacking, thank you. Put it inside your regular planner, all those, super smart. You guys are brilliant. So Mind Body Health Plan, those strategies could also work here. So you could kind of mix and match there. How people want to feel, people include their steps, self-care wins. Maybe you love alliteration, meditation Monday, new music Monday, maintenance Monday, tea Tuesday, think Thursday, face mask, free Friday, workout Wednesday, cleaning schedules. So those are different things that you could totally use with it. Some people like to plan out here their fitness, maybe self-care. Oh, thank you, Jenna, Better Than Before. That's the habit book by Gretchen Rubin. Choosing yoga videos, which we talked about, but someone suggested listing the link next to them. So if they're short on time, they can kind of do a swap instead of just going, oh, I can't do it today. Really smart. Writing what they actually accomplished that day. 45 minutes in the morning for learning. So they use it as a learning plan for which course or book for the day. They use their meal plan for daily housework plan. If you're a fly lady, that might be a good place to write it down. If you're old like me, you know who the fly ladies are. They were like setting up like a daily cleaning schedule. I think the website's still around. Any fly ladies out there? Shopping list for what I want to manifest in the near future. What they're grateful for in the week, house cleaning Saturday, lazy Sunday. I like to do that too. Prayer requests. Yes, there are some fly ladies out there. I figured because y'all were talking about the Barbie girl music. So I was like, I bet that there are. So, oh, there's a fly lady app. Heck yeah. Now I'm going to clean that sink. Love it. That was one of the things. You always clean your sink and you always make your bed and you always put your shoes on. So you're ready, even if you are someone who isn't like working from home or you have the important job of staying home mom or something along those lines. So you can kind of see here how mine's morphed. I got to move my picture screen so I can see. I kind of 1 week I did that kind of alliteration of things that I wanted to do. Face mask Monday, getting myself a sweet treat for that day. Wednesdays, bath and podcast. I don't have a bathtub anymore. But you can see I tried to pair coloring here with a pairing of watching a show that I wanted to watch. I went through a cycle where I was trying to list it out for the types of rest. If you have not seen that there is types of rest, Google it. There's even a quiz telling you what kinds of rest you need to do. Yes, I love Virgin River. So awesome. Then I looked and I did take the quiz about types of rest and it learned out that I needed physical rest. So I tried to do that as well as social rest. So I kind of made my plan based on that. Another week, I did things that I thought would be kind things to do for my husband, you know, a good morning text, a love note, those kinds of things. Then currently, last week I tried doing it like one major thing a week, like hair conditioning, like a deep mask or face mask or body scrub. So it's not so much at one time. And then this week I used it as a get ready list that I need to pack my clothes, grocery shop, pack the car, etc. So that's kind of how it is that I'm looking at it right now. Looks like some people are using for a habit tracker as well. And then shopping list. I'm going to blow through this because I want you to have time to work on it yourself. I did actual shopping list. And you can see I am making my camping list there. I've also used it as like things I want to do for my fall capsule, skincare routine of things I want to buy. And then ultimately it looks like I included the same slide twice. Sorry about that. So yeah. One thing people do is they can rip out the page and put it on their fridge for the shopping list. Write down what they have in their fridge on their shopping list so they can meal plan from that. Subscriptions or bills coming out, adding that there. That's a really smart idea. So those are some of the ones that I have utilized. And then this one is pretty straightforward. This just depends on you. Some people really like to do that rosebud thorn there that we talked about, or just write the things that they absolutely love. Oh, some people are definitely not feeling that rip out page. I don't either. I take a picture of it with my phone and I take that to the grocery store when I make a shopping list. All right, I'm going to give you some time to be able to work on your pages. All right, friends, I see that you want my list of songs. I will throw that in the chat when I finish presenting and we turn on our last song. So you have it, though it is very extensive because it's literally the music from all the socials that I've done, but hopefully you like them. So I want to say thank you so much for attending today. If you are unaware of the app, these are our QR codes. You hold up the phone, open the camera, and then that's how you are able to access it. And I do ask, please, 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 let us know what you thought. We literally changed in 1 week the amount of time that we spent on this very social based on your feedback. So they really do read it, they really do care about it, and we do make changes. And if you've noticed all the amazing new programming that is happening this month, you know that that's absolutely true. So if you haven't, definitely check it out. I want to say thank you so much for those of you who joined us tonight. Thank you so much if you've been with me before in the past. And please do check out some of the really awesome new events that they're running on. And if you're a sticker person, know that they are updating the stickers with a different material that is easier to write on. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Please fill out that survey and I will take you out with a little music of the Proclaimers.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm working, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do,